Hi, fourth graders. We are in Unit 3, which is division still, in Lesson 7. And today, for the first time in our division problems, we are going to have a 0 in the quotient. And if you remember what the quotient is, that is our answer along with the remainder in a division problem. So you're going to need your typical things today. You should have some scratch paper. You need your workbook. And if you like using your whiteboard, use that as well. We're going to get right into the workbook today, and we are going to start on page 160. Okay, so open up to page 160. Should look like what you see on your screen, and we're going to do two example problems today. We're not learning a new method. I'm going to show you both the methods that we use and how you can do those with both problems 3 and 4. But remember, 0's in our quotient, so somewhere in our quotient, our answer, we should have a 0 in one of the place values. So if you don't, you probably have a mistake. All right, let's go to problem number 3. And so I've already done problem number 3 for you here, but let's look at really what we did, and we want to do it in the least possible amount of steps. But you know what? Sometimes we don't, and you might not be there. Your work might look like this for 1,842 divided by 6. And remember, this is page 60. This is number 3. And so what we did here, let me just explain it. We had 100 groups of 6 that we needed to take out of 1,842. Okay, so we take out 100 equal groups of 6, and that means we subtract 600. Well, we can do that again because we still have 1,242, which is larger than 600. So we can take out 100 more groups of 6 and subtract again, and we still have a larger number than 600. So we can take out a third group of 100 6s. Okay, so 100 times 6 is 600 still. We subtract, and now we get to 42. This is where we now have to think of our warm-up problems that we've been working on this last week. And even in the end of our multiplication unit, we're still dividing by 6. We're still looking for groups of 6. And now we only have 42 items that we need to split up into groups of 6. And so use your chart and think, what times 6 can get me to 42 or close to it without going over? And in this case, we actually have an exact answer. You might say, well, 6 times 5 is 35. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 6, so that's 36. 6 times 7, 42. It was exactly. So 6 times 7 is 42. And then when we subtract, we have nothing left over. That means we don't have a remainder. And there's nothing left. We don't have any more equal groups. So our last step is to take this here and add it. We had 100, 200, 300, 307 with no remainder. That is our answer. We usually write that at the top. So this is where our quotient goes. Okay? The idea is if we're using this partial quotients method down the side, we want to try and reduce the amount of steps. Well, sometimes there's a trick that we can use that will help us narrow down our steps. And so you can still kind of see all the numbers behind the rectangle I just put in there, but I want to cover everything up until my largest place value. And I'm going to say, these are going to be, sometimes we call them goes into. You want to say, how many times can 6 go into, in this case, 1, right? And or in other words, 6 times what will get me to 1? Well, nothing in this case, because 6 times 1 is 6. And if we were to do one group of 6, that would be too big. So you can even write a 0. We wouldn't do that yet, but what we would do, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's the next slide. And so we can slide it over. We can say 6 can't go into 1. 1 is too small. But 6 can go into 18. All right. So if you think of your skip counting by 6s, or you're looking at your chart, you say 6, 12, 18. 6 times 3 will actually get me to 18. So I'm going to do 3, but it's not just 3. I have a tens place and a ones place here still. This 8 is in my hundreds. So really, 6 times, I'm going to pull out 300 groups of 6, okay? And so 3 times 6 was 18, and then I can't forget my zeros as well, okay? And now I know if I'm going to take out 300 6s, I need to subtract, Okay, so 2 minus 0 is 2, 4 minus 0 is 4, 18 minus 18, or 8 minus 8, and 1 minus 1 is 0. And so now I'm down to this last step. So look what I did. I took this step, and this step, and combined it into one. I just did all of my hundreds at once. Sometimes covering up some of your place values can help you do that. All right, and then we did the same thing where we said, oh, this is just a warm-up problem. 6 times what can get me to 42? And that's the same. 6 times 7 is 42. When you subtract, you get 0. So if you're using this method, the goal is to get here and to be able to do it in red. If you're not there yet, and you're using this method in black, and you do 4 steps instead of 2, but you still get your quotient of 307, keep doing it. Okay? Keep doing it. Just keep getting the right answer. But if you are using that traditional method, we often call it the traditional method or digit by digit method, or sometimes we call it the step-by-step method, place value method. There's all kinds of names for it, but it's the method that your parents probably grew up learning. I'm going to cover up your place value again. And notice if you're using any of our partial quotient methods, you didn't do anything different. You have a 0 in your quotient. It's in your tens place, but you didn't really have to do anything different. If you're using this shortcut method, traditional method, then you're going to have to be careful here. And this is where often students make mistakes when you do have a 0 in your quotient. So watch what I mean by that. Okay, so can 6 go into 1? No, 6 times 1 would be too big. That's 6, so we say the same thing. And this is where you might say, oh, well, let's put a 0 up here because I need to cover up that place value and know that I don't have any groups of 1,000 sixes. That's too big. But now I can slide it over again, and I can say, all right, now I'm in my hundreds place. Can 6 go into 18 now? Ah, yes, it can. So 6 times 3, we already knew that from our last problem, is 18. Your next step is to multiply. And then just like we did in the partial quotients, we have to subtract. Okay? So 18 minus 18, oh, that's 0. Okay? And that's good. That checks out because when I subtract, I need to have a smaller value than what I have outside of my division problem here. My divisor, it's 6. So anything smaller than 6 works, and it does. All right, so now my next step, I'm going to slide my cover over again, and now I'm going to get into my tens place. And notice how my 3 went right above my hundreds. Okay, I got to bring it down. So sometimes I like to draw the arrow, bring down my 4. Okay, so 6 can go into 4. Ooh, now we have a problem. 6 can't go into 4. Okay, and so if 6 can't go into 4, that means we have 0 tens. But oftentimes kids forget to put the 0 in the tens place. That is really, really important. And I'll tell you why at the end. What we do now, you can say 0 times 6 is 0 and subtract, and you have 4. You still have 4, but now we need to bring down our next value. So I'm going to move over my box to my ones place, and I'm going to draw that arrow straight down, and as straight as you can get with a mouse. And now I have 42. And you guys know we just did that 3 times now. 6 times 7 will get me to exactly 42. And if I don't have anything left here, and there is nothing left to bring down, my problem is done, and I don't have a remainder. Now, if you didn't have this here, if you didn't keep your 0 here, and you just brought that 2 down and said, well, yeah, 6 goes into 42 7 times, my answer is going to be 37. That's very different than 307. Okay? Let's try the next one. Now, this is going to be number 4, and we're still on page 160. We're going to do one more, and then your teacher might do more, but then we will also make sure that you get a little extra practice. So let's go ahead and get started. Once again, you can use the box or you don't have to. It's totally up to you. 8 can't go into 5. Ooh, it can go into 51, though, so that should help me determine how many groups of hundreds I should pull out. So 8 can go into 51. Well, 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6, that's 48. 8 times 7, 56. That's too big. So 8 times 6, but remember it's 600. All right, so 600 times 8. 6 times 8 is 48. I have my zeros. Now when I subtract, I have 5, 2, 1 minus 8 I can't do, but I can think of this as 51 minus 48, and I know that's a difference. 3. All right, so now what I'm doing is I need to figure out, okay, I got all my hundreds pulled out. Now let's see, how many tens can I pull out of 8? Or heck, how many groups of 8 can I pull out of 325? I know I can't pull any groups out of 3, but I can think of that as 32. So sometimes you might want to use that. Otherwise, you can pull out 10 groups of 8, 10 groups of 8, 10 groups of 8. That's totally fine too. But some of you look at 32 and say, hey, that's 40 eighths. 4 times 8 is 32. And then I have a 0 from my 0 right here. And I subtract. Look at that. I only have 5 left. I can pull out, 0 groups of 8. So I have 0 more groups that I can pull out. So then this becomes my remainder. When I add them up, I now have 640. And my remainder is 5. So I'm going to write that up top, 640 with a remainder of 5. And now we'll look and see what happens when we use that shortcut method. You're going to see these same steps, but now you're going to see them written above and with some arrows with numbers brought down. So 8 can go into 5 0 times. 8 can go into 51, we said 6 times. So 6 times 8 is 48. And I have seen some students that that will just write zeros and continue, just say this is 4,800. You can absolutely do that if you want. But I always like to draw the arrow. So 51 minus 48 is going to be 3. I know I need to bring down my next place value. Here we go. 32 now. 8 times what can get me to 32? Well, we said that was going to be 4, and it's exactly 32. And so 32, when we subtract, we have 0, and I need to bring down my ones place, and that's going to be 5. 8 goes into 5 0 times. So my answer is 64. Be careful. You need an answer above every place value. 8 goes into 5 0 times. So your answer is 640. You have 5 left over because there's nothing left to bring down. Both of these show 640 with a remainder of 5. Okay, so you may have some more problems to practice, or you do have some practice problems in the workbook. Your teacher may assign that or work with you, and then there's probably going to be some Think Central work as well. All right, guys, good luck. Keep working hard.